My name is Lina Bracchi French. Welcome to the Caregiver's Voice very first podcast. The Caregiver's Voice group was created on LinkedIn, and the purpose of it is to create a community of support for caregivers, whether you are a doctor, a nurse, or a regular private citizen that has no medical experience. This group has been created to help caregivers support one another by sharing stories, insight, perhaps even things that you have learned in your experience as a caregiver, and serve as a source of inspiration, venting system, coping mechanism, or whatever it is that helps you stay motivated and positive throughout the day. Since today is our very first podcast, we are going to keep this very brief. I am interested in hearing your feedback, learning about your experiences, your stories, and obviously for you to comment on today's very brief subject. A little bit about me and my story and the reason why I created this group. My sister and I are the caregivers for our mother. Our mother is someone who has two diagnoses. One is for Alzheimer's disease, and the other one is for Parkinson's disease. This is a rare and special cocktail of illnesses into one, both neurodegenerative. But nonetheless, she's not alone in the world with her disease. And the reason we created this group was so that more people like us, whether they're caring for someone with a physical ailment, a neurodivergence, a neurodegenerative disease, or whatever it may be, have a means and ways of finding support. So the subject I want to discuss today is how do you care for your loved one without making them feel like you are treating them as a child. This is a very difficult subject to navigate, as I have found that we can't have the best intentions in mind to care for our loved one and show them protection and make them feel at ease. But I can tell you that for my own personal experience, I struggle with this since it seems it's my tone or the way I say things that can come across as condescending, although my, of course, intention is the complete opposite. It is to make my loved one feel loved, safe, and cared for. But it is something that takes a lot of finessing. Something I am working on that I think can help, and I would love to hear from you guys, is obviously empathy, but not in a way of, oh, I can imagine how it must feel, but actually try to sort of get off your own body or shoes, obviously metaphorically speaking, and try to place yourself in the shoes of the person you're caring for. And in a quasi meditative state, sort of like sit still and even close your eyes if that helps enhance the experience, and try to switch roles and figure out how it would feel in your own skin and in your own mind and spirit, how it would feel if you were being treated like a child. Or some people are even younger, some are adults, some are young adults. And so I think everyone can relate to being talked to or treated like a child by our own parents. Except how challenging would it feel if you were the parent, if you're over 60, 70, some people even older than that, and you're being told what to do as if you were a kid. And I think that's the part that we, or I can tell you myself, struggle with, because my reaction is not one of that level of empathy. I am someone who's a little bit more quick, quick to act, quick to think, quick to judge, and lacking of patience, it makes it harder to be able to have this level of empathy. So I guess the conversation is not so much for me to tell you, hey, I got it figured out, because clearly I don't, but rather just maybe help you think, is this something that you feel that you are doing as well? Is this something that you've received feedback on that you could do better? Or do you have the ability to think and reflect, this is definitely something that could be improved, or that could be worked on? And if so, do you think that you have a better tip? Or do you think that my tip of getting into a quasi meditative state is something that you would like to try or willing to try? And if so, would you please report back and let me know how that works for you? I have, I think, a very good level of awareness, but unfortunately, that self awareness is a little delayed. Almost like when you're having a phone conversation via video call, and especially if it is over international lines or long distance, how it takes a moment or an extra second for that signal to reach the other party. I feel like that's how it is for me. Um, that I am able to perceive the unpleasantness received by my loved one just a little too late, after the fact. And then I find myself over and over apologizing. Um, and sometimes it feels unfair, because in my skin it feels like, well, I shouldn't have to apologize. I'm being loving and caring. But the tone does definitely make a difference. And it can go from something good that you're intending to do to something that can be hurtful, even insulting to the person that you are loving and caring for. So I'm very curious to know your experience regarding this matter. I would love to know any tips that you guys may have. Please comment and share with anyone who you feel might be going through a similar time. If you are interested in following the group on LinkedIn, just look for our group. It is Caregivers apostrophe S Voice. Otherwise, please feel free to comment here on the channel. Thank you so much, and I wish you a happy weekend, whatever's left of it. Bye bye.